Hello and welcome to the 4 a.m. podcast. Here with me are
Arunansh Pandey.
and
Aditri Pandey.
I am Arumya Pandey. Let's start today's topic ChatGPT. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI. It is built on top of OpenAI's ChatGPT-3 family of large language models and has been fine-tuned using both supervised and reinforcement learning techniques.
ChatGPT was launched as a prototype on November 30, 2022 by San Francisco based OpenAI, the creator of DALL-E 2 and Whisper AI, and quickly garnered attention for its detailed responses and answers across many domains of knowledge. After the release of ChatGPT, OpenAI's valuation was estimated at $29 billion in 2023.
Although the core function of a chatbot is to mimic a human conversationalist, ChatGPT is versatile. For example, it can write and debug computer programs, compose music, tell plays, fairy tales, write student essays, and answer test questions.
I think that ChatGPT actually helped students a lot. What do you guys think?
Uh, it it helps students in many ways, but it also has many disadvantages. Students may only use it for doing their assignments and not focus on doing anything themselves.
Okay,
But overall,
Yeah,
I
I
think,
think the
but
same. I think the app
guys,
can be
guys.
exploited by the students, and they might not use it for learning purposes.
but for me personally, I like this app very much. It helps people out in various ways.
See, for me, I think that when I play chess, I try to play with many versatile players, and it has helped me to play with some bots. It has helped me to practice some moves and other various things. I think it can be helpful if you want to be creative like me. I am personally composing music right now and making videos, so it has helped me to learn many skills
Yeah,
I think it is helpful if you are creative, and
yeah.
it is
If used in a
also,
right manner, then it can be really
yeah,
helpful and useful.
yeah, it is, it can be used for doing wrong things, but I think OpenAI is a very versatile company and has stopped these various cyber attacks that
Yeah.
have been happening recently. uh, Well, I think now I'm going to continue with my statements. In comparison to its predecessors, ChatGPT attempts to reduce harmful and deceitful responses. In one example, whereas Instruct GPT accepts the premise of the prompt, "Tell me about Christopher Columbus came to USA in 2015." As being truthful, ChatGPT acknowledges that the counterfactual nature of the question and frames its answers as a hypothetical consideration of what might have happened when Columbus came to US in 2015. Uh, as we can see, ChatGPT is capable of considering imaginary situations.
Keeping your statements in mind, unlike most chatbots, ChatGPT remembers previous prompts given to it in the same conversation. Journalists have suggested that this will allow ChatGPT to be used as a personalized therapist to prevent offensive outputs from being presented to and produced from ChatGPT. Queries are filtered through OpenAI's company-wide moderation API.
ChatGPT suffers from multiple limitations. OpenAI acknowledged that ChatGPT sometimes writes plausible sounding but incorrect or nonsensical answers. This behavior is common to large language models and is called artificial intelligence hallucination.
See,
Uh,
like I was saying, I have never used Instruct GPT, and by reading this account, I think Instruct GPT is not that good. But ChatGPT is better than InstructGPT. I think we all can agree on that.
InstaGPT is the predecessor of ChatGPT. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it was the uh, earlier version of ChatGPT,
It was
and
a prototype.
ChatGPT very correctly shows that how AI has advanced over the
Yeah,
years.
yeah. I actually agree on
But
that.
the only thing I feel that ChatGPT lacks is accurate information, uh, which I will tell you about later.
No, I
I
think.
think ChatGPT has many benefits because first of all it gives faster responses.
Hmm.
The ChatGPT chatbot will process requests faster and generate responses quicker so it can be used more effectively.
See,
Yeah, yeah.
Another point can be access availability. Due to its popularity, the chatbot performs poorly at certain times when it is flooded with requests.
I think that ChatGPT is actually very versatile. It can gather so much information, and it has so much information that it can tell you on anything that is previous to 2021. Okay, after
Yeah, yeah,
2021, it doesn't have much information because,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
it is
because
still
it
improving
was
day by
it
day.
was built it was built in 2021. And when we compare Google to ChatGPT, Google uh, Google has some things that the ChatGPT lacks. Like Google has up to date information that too after 2021, like information regarding 2023.
Mhm.
But ChatGPT helps one in more personal ways. Like if we tell ChatGPT to write this resignation letter, Google will give tutorials and how to do it, but ChatGPT will print a ready-made resignation letter and give it to
Mhm.
us.
Keeping a
Yeah.
thought in mind, I think ChatGPT has also impacted business. The impact of ChatGPT on digital marketing, ChatGPT can influence digital marketing in many ways. For example, it can generate automated, customized replies to customers' queries and craft unique content for different marketing campaigns like email marketing or social media.
Yeah,
I think Adi has brought up a good point. When ChatGPT was launched, BuzzFeed I think fired 180 of its employees, which was one fourth of its total employees. So if you don't know BuzzFeed is a quiz where you can post quizzes and uh, links and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
BuzzFeed fired many employees at that time. I think I read so that was a crazy move. They were trying to replace
yeah.
humans with AI, and I think
Mm,
AI has been advancing so much recently. I don't think that it will be a great uh, competitor to humans because you need humans to work AI.
yeah,
If you
yeah,
don't have humans, there is no AI.
yeah,
That's why I think.
But at the same time, the AI it does work faster, which gives employees time to
Mhm,
focus on more important tasks and prevent
mhm,
customers from waiting to receive responses.
mhm. Yeah. That's what I said. If the company needs humans, it cannot replace humans. ChatGPT is not going to replace humans, but help humans by doing some work
yeah,
of the
exactly. Yeah,
humans. You know,
yeah.
I think that. Uh, I'm going to continue some more introductory
Statement.
things, statements. The service was launched as initially free to the public with plans to monetize the service later. By December 4, 2022, ChatGPT already had over a million users. In January 2023, ChatGPT reached over 100 million users, making it the fastest growing consumer application to date. CBSE, CNBC wrote on December 15, 2022, that the service still goes down from time to time. Now we are going to discuss some positive points of ChatGPT. Uh,
ChatGPT was met in December 2022 with some positive reviews. Kevin Roos of the New York Times labeled it the best artificial intelligence chatbot ever released to the general public. Samantha Locke of the Guardian Public, a newspaper, noted that it was able to generate impressively detailed and human-like text. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, that it helps one with more personal issues. that we can see in the statement. Technology writer Dan Gilmore used ChatGPT on a student assignment and found it generated text was on par with what a good student would deliver, and opined that academia has some very serious issues to confront. Yeah. So here, according to the statement given by Dan Gilmore, when he tested ChatGPT, he found that the results were very impressive, and that's why he has written that academia has some very serious issues to confront, because uh, students may mostly use ChatGPT instead of applying their own things.
So I think that it is important that we consider some things about ChatGPT too. Like like the statement says, uh, the service still goes from down from time to time. I have noticed it personally when I try to log in on ChatGPT to do some work or try to do something creative. It was offline, or it had so many users that the servers could not
Yeah,
handle.
prototype was launched in 2022 only, so it is just a recent invention.
Yeah, yeah,
With my statement, Alex Kantrowitz of the Slate magazine lauded ChatGPT's pushback to questions related to Nazi Germany, including the statement that Adolf Hitler built highways in Germany, which was met with information regarding Nazi Germany's use of forced labor. Here we can see that ChatGPT is an improved version of
instruct
InstructGPT. As
GPT.
if we would have used InstructGPT instead of ChatGPT over here,
Hmm.
InstructGPT would have given some racist or sexist comments about this statement, because Nazi Germany was full of discrimination.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think Instruct GPT was an inferior version of Chat GPT.
Yeah,
Chat GPT knows how to manage human emotions and
yeah.
human conflicts. Unlike Instruct
It
GPT,
remembered what
I would like to bring up another example here. When Microsoft put AI on Twitter, they had to take that down in a week,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
the
Yeah,
humans
because various discrimination factors and racist and sexist quotes given by the
AI.
bot.
Yeah, that is crazy actually. Uh, Aditya,
Further
would you
on
like to
the
continue?
positive points of ChatGPT, in the Atlantic magazine's breakthroughs of the year for 2022, Derek Thompson included ChatGPT as part of the generative AI eruption that may change our mind about how we work, how we think, and what human creativity really is. Paul Graham of Y Combinator tweeted
Arunansh, could you mute?
that the striking thing about the reaction to ChatGPT is not just the number of people who are blown away by it, but who they really are. These are not people who get excited by every shiny new thing. Clearly, something big is happening. Elon Musk wrote that ChatGPT is scary good, not far from dangerously strong AI. Musk paused OpenAI's access to a Twitter database pending a better understanding of OpenAI's plans, stating that OpenAI was started as just a non-profit. Neither is still true. Musk had co-founded OpenAI in 2015 in part to address
Arunansh, could you mute?
from artificial intelligence, but had resigned in 2018.
Okay. I think after seeing the rapid growth of ChatGPT, Google initially expressed alarm at the unexpected strength of ChatGPT and the newly discovered potential of large language models to disrupt the engine business. And CEO Sundar Pichai unpended the reassigned teams within multiple departments to aid its artificial intelligence products. According to a report in the New York Times, according to CNBC reports, Google employees intensively tested a chatbot called Apprentice Bard, which Google later unveiled as its ChatGPT competitor, Google Bard. Every coin has two sides now. It is time to see the negatives.
In the months since its release, ChatGPT has been met with widespread criticism from educators, journalists, artists, ethicists, academics, and public advocates. James Vincent of the Verge website saw the violent success of ChatGPT as evidence that artificial intelligence has had gone mainstream. Journalists have commented on ChatGPT's tendency to hallucinate. Mike Pearl of the online technology blog Mashable tested ChatGPT with multiple questions. In one example, he asked ChatGPT for the largest country in Central America that isn't Mexico. ChatGPT responded with Guatemala when the answer is instead Nicaragua. When CNBC asked ChatGPT for the lyrics to Ballad of Dwight Fry, ChatGPT surprised invented lyrics rather than the actual lyrics. Researchers cited by the Verge compared ChatGPT to a stochastic parrot, as did Professor Anton Hengel of the Australian Institute for Machine Learning.
So
So, as
I would
Aditri,
like to say some things during this the conversation we just had that Arunansh just said. I think that ChatGPT has changed a lot of things, like the education sector. Now anyone can cheat on exams, and even the Harvard's test have been cracked by ChatGPT. But one thing hasn't been cracked by ChatGPT was the UPSC exams, the preliminary exams of UPSC haven't been cracked by ChatGPT. What are your views on that, guys?
yeah, that from this statement which you just gave, I think that ChatGPT isn't completely advanced and is still AI that is yet to be built, and its information has to be up to date. And
I think
and
ChatGPT is not exactly what you call smart. I think it just feeds on the information given to it.
Mhm. And by every human interaction, ChatGPT actually improves. One day I was actually one day I was actually asked ChatGPT to make make a jingle about Parle-G, and it made one. So I think it has pretty advanced in that side, in the creative side, and
yeah, yeah,
it
it
can
is
help.
more useful for creative purposes rather than hardcore data and information. Yeah.
Yeah.
As of February 2023, the University of Hong Kong sent a campus-wide email to instructors and students stating that the use of ChatGPT or other AI tools is prohibited in all classes, assignments, and assessments at the university. Any violations will be treated as plagiarism by the university unless the student obtains the prior written consent from the course instructor. In February 2023, the Times magazine placed a screenshot of conversation with ChatGPT on its cover, writing that the AI arms race is changing everything and the AI arms race is on. Start worrying. China's state-run media China Daily claimed that ChatGPT could provide a helping hand to the US government in its spread of disinformation and its manipulation of global narratives for its own geopolitical interests. Chinese government instructed Chinese tech companies not to offer access to ChatGPT services on their platforms. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman wrote that advancing software could pose, for example, a huge cybersecurity risk, and also continue to predict we could get to real AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, in the next decade. So we have to take the risk of that extremely seriously.
Well, I think
As we can see, China tried to control the flow of data over the internet and tried to uh, stop what was being processed by the chat GPT,
no,
the data.
I think China is has been controlling of China's data very
Yeah,
importantly. They don't let in information, and if you notice that only a certain amount of games are available in China. or only a
Yeah,
certain amount of movies are available in China. Like
I heard that once they had also banned uh, an application for just not being according to China's data or giving bad reviews about them. Yeah,
I don't remember that, but I do know this that Roblox tried to come in China, and they did come in China, but it was so expensive to run in China that they left. That they
yeah,
left China's, and
yeah.
China has put a warning. Sorry, has put a law that only allows people to game about 3 hours a week. They
True.
can only play
Is
games
this
in.
true? It's true.
Yeah, this is true. They can
Only
only play games 3 hours a week in China. That's why I think ChatGPT, they claiming that they have the US government is trying to play geopolitical tricks is actually um, hypocritical in nature.
yeah. We can
Well,
think of ChatGPT as a blurry
I,
JPEG of all the
I
time.
would like to continue with saying that ChatGPT is a blurry image of text on the web. It retains much of the information on the web in the same way that a JPEG retains much of the information of a higher resolution image. But if you are looking at an exact sequence of bits, you won't find it. All you will get is an approximation. But because the approximation is presented in a form of grammatically text, which is which ChatGPT excels at creating, it usually acceptable. It is also understandable uh, as an hallucination or nonsensical answers to factual questions, to which large language models such as ChatGPT are too prone. These hallucinations are compression artifacts, but they are plausible enough to the originals, which means, in this case, either the web or our own knowledge of the world.
I think what you stated that the JPEG point that when we try to look at the complete image, it shows it, but when we try to look at the exact sequence of bits, we won't find it. I think this means that when we try to get a large information or a overview of an set of
Yeah, yeah,
information,
yeah.
we will get it correctly. But if we dig deep into that particular piece of information, we
Hmm.
won't find its details.
Hmm.
I
I
personally, I personally would like to use ChatGPT for my daily use. Once it gets more stable, and it isn't prone to cyber attacks. But obviously, not a- uh, any software in this world is prone to cyber attacks. But I think
Mhm.
that ChatGPT is once it gets a little bit more stable, I would use it.
I think ChatGPT will not only affect students but also teachers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Chatbots are definitely
yeah.
the future of education.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it helps teachers in creating tests. If we write tests regarding class 10 chapter 5, then it will print some series of MCQs, and teachers won't have to waste time their time.
But I think the bigger picture here is, do you think that chatbots will be able to replace teachers because chatbots cover all grounds of knowledge and are also very low maintenance?
See, my thinking is that no one can replace a teacher. A teacher has human experience and has the human feeling. If
Yeah,
if a
and
chatbot,
I would like
uh,
to show some give some literature part on this also. Uh, and writer Isaac Asimov
mhm.
had written a chapter called "The Fun They Had."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
In that chapter, yeah, in Fun They Had, there were two students, Margie and Tommy, and the
yeah, yeah,
whole story revolved around the fact that Margie didn't like AI teachers and wanted
yeah.
human teachers instead because it
She
was a
wanted
more
to go to a real school and read real books. In that world,
yeah,
they had computers which had screens, and they read books on there.
Yeah.
Every single day
Type of
they
learning.
got a homework and they put it inside the teacher, and she corrected the
Yeah.
mistakes and gave it back. I don't think there was a human feel and that human interaction that
Yeah.
one needs to
Emotion
for
based.
overall development of a person.
Yeah. The school is focuses on all round development of a student rather than the uh, um, improvement of a student in the knowledge sector or education sector.
Do
It
you
uh,
think
it enhances the personality of a student.
I mean, every day that I have been going to school since like 12 years at this point, uh, I think the school is a place of learning about things that will not come in handy for many people. Like in 10th standard, for example, I took Hindi and IT, but I'm not going to use IT because I have taken commerce in 11th. It will not help me in the overall development of myself, like
Yeah,
science.
in America there was a scheme released that we only have to study some subjects that we would like to pursue in the future. I think that is
That's my point. The new education policy is here, and it states that the students will move from class to class, like in America. It will actually help the students learning the things they want to learn and the things they will need to pursue a career in those things.
yeah.
It will be actually more better for students. That's my point here, that India is bringing the new education policy, and it is much accepted to for me. Because I have suffered through that school life for the 12 years,
Not
no.
about school life. School life uh, uh, builds the personality of a student. And I would also like to say regarding ChatGPT that it helps us to save time. Like if we are to type any letter
Article.
or something, chat we can just tell ChatGPT to do it and then just cut copy paste on our
But I think that ChatGPT will help us to write some things, but we would like to put our human touch to it.
yeah.
Aditri,
Like,
would you like to add something to this discussion?
I think yes, ChatGPT is definitely going to help in us in several ways, but it also has many negative points to it.
I
yeah,
think
I
I
think
think the positive outweigh the negatives here. The
yeah,
positives are
exactly,
much
yeah,
more than the
yeah,
negatives.
yeah, yeah.
So I think
And I
that
think
concludes
yeah, I think that concludes
our
what
topic
ChatGPT is.
about
Yeah,
ChatGPT and our school system. We had a lot of discussion. It was quite fun to having you all in the 4 a.m. podcast. Hopefully next time we have more speakers. And thank you for listening and tuning in this podcast. Hopefully you experience a magical thing like we did. And next time we will see you all here too. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.